Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Frugal Friday. Today we're going to do some pierogies. Right from scratch, from dough to potatoes to what you can put in it, everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish setting up here because there is a few ingredients, but I'm pretty sure you guys have it all in your pantry. And we're going to get making some homemade pierogies for now and some for later because this is a big batch recipe, just so you know. All right, guys, I'll be right back with you. All right, guys, just so you know, I am going to put the whole recipe down in the description box. I am going to tweak it a little bit because I'm out of a couple things, but I'm going to show you how to make it even if you do have a couple things in your house, okay? So what I have in my bowl is 4.5 cups of flour, okay? And this dough will need about 20 minutes to rest. That gives you lots of time to get cleaned up and all that kind of stuff, so that's great. I did cook. I had some pretty big potatoes. They were about that big around. So I've already peeled them, cut them, mashed them, and then we'll talk about the potato mixture, but that's what I had kind of going on while I was setting all this up, okay? So, in my bowl is 4.5 cups of flour, okay? We're going to do 2 teaspoons of salt. Now, this is pink salt. This is not very salty, so I am going to put a little bit extra in there. Okay. Now, I do have to melt this, but this is my lard, okay? Now, I can't find butter, so what I'm going to use, and this is one of the things that I'm going to change up here, okay, is I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of my lard, and I'm going to melt it, okay? So, I mean, if you don't have butter, I would not use margarine. That I will say. If you wanted to add, maybe if you don't have the lard or the shortening, maybe add extra olive oil or something like that. But I am going to use that as well because I don't have vegetable oil. So you get this in the microwave. Okay. So while that's doing that, we're going to add. Oops, shoot. I'm just banging stuff all over the place today. Going to add 2 tablespoons. It says vegetable oil. I actually have never used vegetable oil. I've always used olive oil because it's better for you, better fat. If you have coconut oil, use coconut oil. I just basically want to soften that a little bit. It had been sitting in the fridge for when I make biscuits later on. Okay, so I'm going to get a spoon here. We're going to start mixing this. I'm going to get the lard in there. I have used lard before and it works out just fine, okay? I find it actually makes the dough better, but that's my opinion. I'll write it as the recipe sits, but knowing, because a fat is a fat, right? So that's the one thing with some of these recipes. Once you learn, for anybody new cooking out there, once you learn the difference between a couple different fats, you can always interchange them in a recipe, always. Okay, so that's pretty much in there. We're going to add some pepper to this. And you do have to get your hands in here. Well, I guess you don't have to, but I mean, you're cooking for your family. Now, in this measuring cup, I have 2 cups of sour cream. When I make pierogies, I do not go low fat. I only usually make them once a year, and I usually double and triple this batch, and I make enough for the whole year. But we are out, and it's a nice, easy, quick meal, so I want to get some in the freezer just for right now. In this bowl, I have 2 egg yolks. or sorry, 2 eggs and 1 egg yolk. And that goes in. I don't want to lose any of that egg yolk. Okay. And then you basically just start mixing. And I'm going to get in there with my hands. Just making sure I got everything. At this point, 1 cup of shredded cheese goes in. Okay. Now we like the cheese on the outside as well as on the inside. Normally you would just do the dough with the cheese on the inside, okay, in the meat mixture, but this is how Michael likes them, so this is, and Cody and everybody else, but see how messy it gets. But just work at it. Keeping one hand clean here. It is a very messy process, but it's very good. Okay. Okay, I did have one hand pretty clean. So let me know, guys, if you're enjoying these Frugal Friday meals. I want to know what you guys think. If you guys want me to continue doing them. Now, if you don't want your bowl to move, put a damp towel underneath. I'm just going to keep spinning mine. But if you want to not have it move, just put a pad underneath. I'm going to move you guys back a little bit. There we go. There's my spot. Like I said, it's a very messy thing. I'm going to dump it out on my counter now. It's just too hard to do in the bowl. This is, I packed all my big bowls. So this is the biggest bowl I have right now. So, and I'm never going to get to the bottom. This is a great thing to do right now with what's kind of going on, especially if you're at home making a few freezer meals for those nights where maybe it's been a bit of a stressful day and you just kind of want to take a bit of a break and big bang, guys. And, you know, you just kind of want to take it easy. This is a really easy meal. You can get your kids in here if you want and get them to maybe not so much mix it, but definitely when we get to the filling, you can definitely get them in here and get them going. Or if you have a backyard, send them out to play and get this dough done. And then, because they are better if you freeze them before you cook them. I will say that. And this is a new flour for me to use. My mill is closed down, so I couldn't get any flour. So I might have to add a little bit more moisture, but we'll see. Because every day will be different. So you might end up having to add a little bit of something into the dough. But see, this is one batch, okay? This makes a lot of pierogies, guys. And that's why I thought I'm bringing this to you guys, especially right now. If you're anything like me, I'm really stressed out right now. And cooking calms me. Just makes me kind of put my zen back into place. And this is my comfort zone in my kitchen. And I love bringing you guys new recipes. Michael and I actually consider closing down the channel because it's just not getting out there. But I enjoy cooking with you guys a little too much to do that. So now I'm just going to knead the dough a little bit. You don't want to over knead this, okay? But you want it well incorporated. Just gently. See how it's not sticking anymore? And you'll want to roll this out in batches as well. But this definitely needs to rest. For about 20 minutes, I'm going to put it back in that bowl. Wash my hands, clean up, and then I'm going to bring you guys back. And, but look at that. Look how beautiful that is. You know, we made some changes to accommodate our pantry, and we still got a beautiful dough. And when I come back, after this is rested, we're going to roll up some, we're going to make the potato mixture. All right, I'm going to clean all this up, get this all disinfected, and I'll be back. All right, guys, so here's the potatoes. Don't add any, any milk or anything to this. Now, in here, I had to put it in early because, well, my recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of processed cheese. Well, I don't like using processed cheese that much, and I don't normally have it. But let's talk about this for a second. So I put 2 tablespoons of cream cheese in here. And the other thing I have also used in here is some of my homemade queso. That is delicious in here, okay? But that's what's in here, just a little bit of salt. And yeah, that's it. And it actually binds it, and that's why you need the processed cheese. If you happen to have a few cheese slices in your house, add that in. Okay, so we're going to do a twofer here. So in this bowl, I'm going to put half the mixture, okay? Because I'm going to make 2 different kinds of pierogies. You can make any kind of pierogi your family enjoys. Michael is a huge onion freak. But what I'm going to do you guys remember that bacon and onion jam? I'll link the video below. We're going to drop some of that in this meat mixture. Oh, yes, we are. With a little bit more cheese. And this is going to be our filling for some of the pierogies. Now, everybody in this house will eat this one. So I don't need to worry about that. But if you have somebody in your house that just wants cheese, just do potato and cheese. If you want to add bacon, add bacon. You know, it's endless. I've done caramelized onion. And I've done, this is why this is, I think, a really good skill to learn. Is simply because you can make it any way your little heart desires. And they're delicious. You can make them as big as you want. You can make them as small as you want. And I don't know. I've had the ones out of the grocery store, and I'm telling you, they taste like cardboard. And these do not. These are soft and plush, and they're just delicious. You know what? I'm going to go for broke, and I'm just going to add the rest of it. What I have here. If you want to add some herbs to it, add some herbs to it. You know, if you, like with the, normally if I have like some parsley, I'll add it into this one. Okay. I don't have any right now. But look at that. And it smells. My Lord, you guys. Okay. So that's one. And if you happen to have a little too much mixture with your potatoes, just freeze it and mark it pierogi mix. Or you can just pull it out when you're ready and use it as mashed potatoes, or add, you know what I'm saying? Make it yours. So I'm going to add the rest of my cheese in here. Okay. And add some pepper. Oh, hang on a sec, guys. All right, guys, sorry about that. All right, so we added the cheese. This is cooled down now. I am going to add a little bit of black pepper to that. But this is definitely where you would want to put your herbs if you were going to do like a cheese and herb mixture. Okay, just mix that around. Okay, simple, right? All right. So now I'm going to take this and an egg over here. Mix that up as well. It's just a laid egg, so it's nice and room temperature for me. We're just going to get this mixed up for a minute. Get that set to the side. Okay. So now we have our beautiful dough here. We're gonna work in this in batches, okay? Because that's a lot of dough to deal with here. I'm gonna cut this in half. So this half will be just the cheese, and the other one will be that bacon onion jam, if that's what you want to call it. We're going to start with some flour, but we're going to start with the cheese, and we're going to roll this out, okay? Now, to cut the pierogies, you can do it many different ways. You can do it with like a glass. You can do it with, you can do it with anything, you know. But you want them half an inch thick or so. We're gonna roll this out like so. Okay. So what I'm using to cut my pierogies, because I don't mind them huge, but I don't want them like ginormous, because I'm just going to take a simple soup can, right? Throw a little bit of flour on my counter here, and I'm just going to go along, and I'm just going to cut a bunch here. And this is where your kids would come in if you wanted to get your kids involved. Cut a bunch. And this dough will come right back together beautifully. Okay. We're just going to get these out of the way. Now, I find the best way to cook these are from frozen. But I mean, if you're in a pinch, you can definitely do it from fresh if you wanted. Just want to show you how easy this comes together again. So like I said, this makes quite a bit, okay? See how easy that comes together? Okay, what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna get the rest of these circles cut here, and then I'm gonna bring you back and we're gonna start filling. All right, guys, so what I've done is I've taken this cookie sheet here, okay, and lined it with plastic wrap. And then what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna drizzle, because I don't have any nonstick spray or anything. I'm just going to drop, itchy nose, some olive oil on here just so they don't stick. And you're gonna hear my dog. That's okay. He's trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, so you got a little bit of olive oil on there because I'm gonna pop these in the freezer. Oh, we need that again. All right, so you see all these little, now if you don't like how thick they are, see they're pretty thick, you can take your rolling pin and just kind of, because it's hard to get them exactly perfect. I mean, they're homemade, right? Okay. Oh, my nose is driving me crazy, guys. All right. So we got a little bit of egg wash. This is your glue, okay? Okay, so you're just going to want to brush the end, okay, with a little bit of egg. Not try to tip it over. We're going to start with the bacon onion jam one. And you're going to want to take, I don't know, half a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon of dough. You're going to want to roll it over like so. I pick ours up and I just tack it down, get the air out, because that's really important to get that air out. And as you see, that dough will expand, okay? There is a perfectly beautiful pierogi. All right, let's do a couple more. Put some flour down there. Move my stuff out of the way. Okay. When I make batches and batches of this, I put a really good movie on. Watch a movie and make a bunch of pierogis. Time just flies. Okay. Grab your dough, pull it over. I might have a little too much in that one, but meh. Pinch it, pinch it, pinch it. Take all the air out. Like so. Look at that. It's beautiful. You're gonna have some that have a little more dough in them. Or a little more filling. Doesn't matter. It does not matter. Get your egg wash. I'm gonna do a cheese one. Cheese and bacon one, just so you can see it. Or cheese and normal. I'm gonna roll all these up. This is just half a batch, and there's probably 25, 30 circles here. Grab that, pull it over, and it works exactly the same. Every time I make pierogis, I think, actually it was one of Michael's memories the other day on Facebook. And it was of my best friend of 30 years. I think we figured it out. And I taught her how to make pierogis. And she was so excited because I finally let her cook in my kitchen. And just throw some. And we're just going to pinch, pinch, pinch. Like so. And you basically, like, yes, they're all going to be different sizes and different shapes. That's Okay. Spread it out a little bit. Egg wash it up at the end, like so. Throw some filling in there. Yeah, you're gonna get messy. It's maybe a little too much. Grab your end, tuck it, pinch out the air. Beautiful. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to keep rolling and going here, and I will bring you back when my cookie sheet is full. All right, guys, so I got half of it done, and I ran out of potato mixture, but that's okay. I'm just going to put the rest of my dough in the freezer, and I'll do them on Sunday. So here's some of the pierogies, and then here's the rest of them. I listened to the radio and kind of just kept going. So now what I'm going to do is lay another piece of plastic wrap on here. Excuse me. Like so. Like so. And now I'm just going to go the opposite way. And I'm just going to pop these in the freezer. Now, if you didn't want to cook them, you just leave them in the freezer until they get whole, throw them in a Ziploc bag, and you are good to go for whenever you're ready. As you can see, they're all different. And like so. Now I'm just going to pop them in our freezer. And then I'm going to cook these up for supper. And I will bring you back when I'm cooking up the pierogies. Alright guys, so here is the pierogies. Now they're not fully froze, but they're good. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Depends on the size. This is frozen solid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move you over. I got water boiling already. I'm trying to think how to do this. I only have so much room, guys. I'm going to move the pierogies. And I am just going to move you guys right to here so you guys can see. So now I'm just going to drop the pierogies in. And when they, if you've never cooked pierogies before, when they come to the surface, they're cooked. Okay? Now I'm not going to overcrowd this pot or anything like that. I'm going to do it in batches and then we fry them. Okay? Just in case there's somebody watching that's never cooked pierogies before. Or some people just fry them. So they've never done the boil process. This just makes your dough softer. And I'm probably going to cook most of these. I still have half the batter in the fridge. On Sunday I'll have to finish that up. I had to cook more potatoes. And I think that's enough. So once this comes up to a boil, they'll all start floating. And then I'll put them on this plate. And then we'll do some frying. I got some pork fat in a frying pan. And we'll heat that up. You want to be super gentle with it right now is because that dough is super tender, right? And you don't really want to play with them too much because if you rip them, then all your filling will pop out. And that's why I really, some people will use water just to kind of go around the edge to seal the pierogi. I like using egg because it's more of a binder. But you do you. If you just want to use water, you go right ahead when you're doing the sealing. And I'll have to fry these in batches too, because my big cast iron frying pan is packed. And this is all we're going to have for supper. We're just going to have a big plate full of pierogies. That's why I'm cooking so many. If we paired this with sausages or something like that, it would definitely stretch two meals easy. But hamburger patties would be good with it. Heck, hot dogs would be good with it. So normally you would use a slotted spoon, but I don't have one out. So, and as you can see right here, it's starting to float. It's almost ready. It's almost cooked. Because your inside is cooked, so all you're doing is basically sealing in that dough, kind of like a bagel, I guess you would say. Because with bagels, you boil them first and then you bake them. Same kind of situation. Same kind of thing. So I'm gently going to take that and try to get off as much water as I can. And there's your first pierogi. Okay. We'll do a couple more when they come up, and then I'll get them all done and then we'll fry them up. So you guys don't have to wait. But see how they're, the cheese, because I put cheese in the batter, a little bit of cheese will disperse, but I just don't want them sticking on the bottom. So I'm gently trying to lift them. And I'm using stainless steel on my really good KitchenAid pots. Another couple seconds and they'll float up to the top. See? Beautiful. Alright guys, I'm going to keep cooking here. And I'll bring you back when we're ready to fry. Alright guys, so I melted the pork fat. You can use vegetable oil, you can use coconut oil to cook these, whatever you want. They are going to make a bit of a mess on your stove. But here we go. What you're basically wanting to do now is just basically brown them. My stove needs to kick off, and it's not doing that. This stove, Michael and I were just talking about it. It's a nightmare. But what I got. Alright. So we're just basically going to let those brown on the bottom, and then flip them. And then I got a cookie sheet over here, and then I'm going to pop them in the oven while I cook all the other ones. Michael and I have deep fried these. They turn out really good deep fried as well. Alright, let's start. Check these. Sorry, I just needed to wash my hands and make Michael a tea. Look at that color. And that's basically what the boiling does. And then you just flip them over. I'm going to have to get a let's do that. There we go. this, like, if you guys wanted to do this as a freezer meal, just freeze them overnight, put them in a Ziploc bag, and then boil them. And if you can just eat them boiled too. Excuse me. And then fry them if you want, whatever you want to do. Look how nice and crispy they get. That does not look like your store-bought pierogi. And these are ready. So I'm going to put these on this cookie sheet. Look at that other side. Perfect, right? Alright guys, I'm going to keep frying here. And I will bring you back when I plate some up for Michael. Because it's going to take me a little bit here to get them all fried up. And then we will be ready to have supper. Alright guys, I'll bring you back. Alright guys, here's the end result. This is, Michael's been quality, as he calls it, quality controlling the pierogis. But here is the inside. This is the one with the bacon onion jam inside it. I'll just put that on his plate because he's quality controlling most of these anyways. And here is the potato and cheese. There we go. I'm going to plate some of these up. Get supper on the table. And I'd like to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. And I appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys super soon. Bye.